Gonna be playing some more Judgment Rites tonight. Some more Star Trek. Should be able to finish it, I think. I don't know. I forget how many missions there are in this one. Quite a few more, I think, than there are in the first one. Yeah, okay, so there's 8 missions in this one. There's only, I feel like there was only 6 in the first one? Okay, so yeah, might not finish it tonight, actually, because I think we're only on, like, mission 4? We did Federation, we did Sentinel, we did No Man's Land. No Man's Land's probably my favorite. Okay, Light and Darkness, yes, we're on mission 4.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its mission, to explore strange new worlds.
Basically covering...
to discover new life and new civilizations.
Of the Enterprise's original 5-year mission.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing at least 2 missions, I think, for us tonight. And after that, I think I'm going to start MGS1 for the PC. I've already got the notes and everything for the speedrun. I think we will end up...
Load a previously saved game.
We will end up playing it. Basically, I still want to watch all the codecs and stuff. And just take it kind of slow. I won't be timing myself or anything, but just kind of learning the run and everything. I might do that. I might decide I want to do MGS2 instead. You know, maybe try one of the other difficulties for MGS2, like normal or easy, something like that. Okay. So let's get into it. Right, we're already on the planet we're supposed to be on.
As improbable as it might seem, I'm getting multiple life form readings from inside this building.
Well, I have to hand it to whoever built this place. All this equipment looks brand new and in good repair.
Let's hope the Enterprise looks this good when it's this old.
We should be very careful about how we proceed, Captain. I have a strange feeling that evil is lurking nearby.
Evil, Ensign?
Something that wants to imperil our souls, sir. We must avoid that at all costs.
Imperil our souls? How do you know that?
Aside from some dust and dirt and a small chemical deposit on the intake nozzle, this DNA replicator appears to be in the same condition that it was 50,000 years ago.
Interesting. Just green gum.
Readings indicate that along with oxidation and dust, there is some organic residue in the crust-like buildup. There are life form readings just to the east and west of this room.
Ooh, okay. Let's check it out.
I welcome you, otherworlders. I beseech you, save us from that which seeks our destruction.
How fitting for a devil to appear on a world that looks like hell.
Enough of that, Mr. Johns. This is just another xenobiological incident.
Correction, Doctor. This is a projection of a xenobiological entity.
Jim, the only life form readings are within that machine behind the portal. Single-cell organisms with an extremely high reproductive rate, but a very poor metabolism and an extremely short lifespan.
Greetings, I am James T. Kirk of the USS Enterprise. What can we do for you? So, when do the wicked witches and goblins show up? Your emergency beacon and statement lead me to believe you see more of an emergency than exists here. Greetings, I am James T. Kirk.
I am Visner of the Alphan people. Our race possessed this world and thrived here until the invasion by the forces of light. We are locked in a death struggle with them, for they desire our destruction. Do you aid them?
No, we do not aid them. Wars and destruction are not things we value, Visner. Our prime directive prevents us from interfering in internal struggles. But at the request of all parties, we might negotiate a compromise.
That's not fun.
Forgive me, but I find that claim insupportable. This world, while grim, hardly looks like a battleground. Who is trying to destroy it? Wars and destruction.
You open yourself to confusion in speaking with Azra, but it is understandable that you want to hear his side before acting. My assessment of you suggests that most of you will fight the clouding of logic and will see through Azra's deception. Please report to me your success.
Nothing unusual about that object, Captain.
Go check it out, Spock.
I am reactivating Visner, Captain.
Oh.
I sense no intelligence from the creatures.
Let's go talk to Azra. There's a long pause before it let me actually move. It made me very uneasy. I thought someone was about to die.
Greetings, gentle beings, and welcome. I am Azra of the Omegan people. You are the salvation we have long sought. Thank you for answering our summons. An angel!
Actually, it is the projected image of an angel, Mr. Johns.
Jim, somewhere in that machine behind the porthole are single-cell organisms. They have a healthy metabolism and long lifespan, but an extremely low rate of reproduction.
Okay, so the exact opposite of the life forms in the other room.
So where's the emergency? Greetings, I am James T. Kirk of the USS Enterprise. What can we do for you? All right, I know you're just a projection. Let's speak with your real masters. So where's... Greetings, I am James...
I am Azra of the Omegan people, an ancient and venerable race which labors to prevent the domination of this world by the forces of darkness.
Sure
we require you to expunge this place of our mortal enemies.
Captain, the most worthwhile purpose in life is to fight against the forces of darkness. We must help him.
Enemies? This world is so barren that all the life on it is located right here. If you have mortal enemies, we've not seen them. Who are you talking about?
I feel like this mission's going to be very heavy-handed with its, like, light and darkness, and you need a balance.
Our prime directive prohibits us from taking part in wars on one side or the other. It would be seen as intervention. We are willing to negotiate a compromise. You will forgive me if I don't fall for a pretty face. I'm not about to expunge anyone. And I will take no action until I've heard both sides of the story. Enemy, you will forgive me if...
You imperil your soul by conversing with the enemy, that sugar-tongued Visner. I cannot protect you, but I do not imagine I can dissuade you either. Go, do what you must. I do not have that much time, but will be here if you seek to comply with my request.
There's no need to leave. We've already talked with Visner. I have to say that I find many of your claims insupportable.
Insupportable? How can you defend a race whose very existence is based upon deceit and foul lies?
Foul lies? Their position contradicts yours, but there are similarities. You dwell on your differences so much, you just can't see them. Frankly, Azra, Visner is quite rational and makes your impassioned pleas for genocide sound psychotic. For a being of goodness, you're rather bloodthirsty. Maybe you should try practicing what you preach. Foul lie. For a being of...
Such practices are lost on creatures so vile. They are jealous usurpers who came after we did to this world and have envied and hated us for all time. They are the ones who are unwilling to live in peace, and for that,
They must be destroyed. He's right, Captain. If we allow Visner to destroy Azra, then Visner will become a threat to the Federation.
How?
I do not see the logic in that.
Yeah, how?
You maintain that you Omegans were created first, but you offer no proof of this assertion. How do you know it? I hear you mouth words that elevate your kind above the Alphans, but I have seen no action to confirm this. We humans have a saying: actions speak louder than words. You and the Alphans are different, but when two races get together and overcome their differences, they can achieve much more than either one can on their own. You and the
We have sought every opportunity for peace, but none is possible. Or can you not see that?
What I see is a group calling themselves morally superior, yet acts in a venal manner. Your attitudes are only mirrors of each other. As shadow is drawn from light, so light needs shadow to define it.
Captain, the existence of evil does not justify it.
Quiet it. If you would stop being so righteous, you can find a solution to this problem.
It will not be without risk, of course, but it is possible. Meet us. Meet the Alphans halfway.
That's not Captain
and we will help you fulfill your destiny.
The persuasiveness of your arguments has opened for me a door through which I spy a future and a truth that I have long denied.
I think.
You are correct. Perhaps being only half of a whole, I could not see the solution. Yes, I desire your help for my people. Help us.
That was so weird how, like, we were talking to Visner's in the entire other room, but because Visner said something like it came from Kirk's mouth.
The sample dish feels warm to the touch.
Do you really expect me to analyze this, Jim?
Yeah, it's basically a bacteria culture, and I'm asking
It's not organic, Jim.
I'm asking you to use your medical tricord.
Nothing unusual about that object, Captain.
Sure. It's a species, but nothing noteworthy about it. Let's go talk to Visner. Convince him of the same thing.
Was it not as I said it would be? Are not the Omegans a fanatical race, uninterested in anything but fulfilling some self-contradictory messianic destiny for themselves? I assume they filled your heads with their warped theology.
Frankly, Visner, Azra is certainly committed to his cause, but hardly the blood-mad fanatic you describe him to be. Warped theology. It is true they differ greatly from you, but your worldviews are based on common beliefs. You see things from different perspectives, that's all. Frankly, Visner, warped theology.
Are you utterly ungrounded in logic?
Utterly ungrounded.
They are creatures of superstition. They invaded our world, then sought to drive us from it. How can you suggest we are anything alike?
You question my grounding in logic, but you don't apply logic to an examination of Alphan beliefs. Aren't they concerned with the same things you are? You're supposed to be the reasonable one. Your facts can't be very persuasive if you aren't willing to try and find common ground. You said they usurped your place in the world, which suggests prior ownership by you. What evidence do you have to support that concept? You question my grounding in logic, but you don't apply logic to an examination of Alphan beliefs. Aren't they concerned with the same things you are?
Just pick their side.
You're supposed to be the reasonable one. Your facts can't be very... You question my grounding in...
How can their concerns match ours when they reach conclusions based on superstition
the 25th
in a document which is largely allegorical in content?
Logic, when applied to your arguments and theirs, suggests that you have had the same experience. The two of you are united in a common drive to attain an end. Your mutual distrust reflects a fear of facing your destiny. Realizing your full potential will not be without risk, of course, but it is possible. Meet us, meet the Omegans halfway, and we will help you fulfill your destiny.
Not a bad psychoanalysis, Jim. Freud would be proud.
Captain, you may be ignoring the obvious.
Your position is unassailable and points out the one and only purpose for our races. Thank you, Captain Kirk, for making me see that.
Talking about it,
yes, I desire your help for my people. Help us.
You take the alpha sample, which feels
cold to the touch. Interesting. The other sample felt warm to the touch.
Save new game. Replace.
Let's go in here and see what's up. I haven't been in here yet.
I don't know anything about these consoles.
The narrow width of the keyboard indicates the creatures who designed it were possessed of hands with only 3 fingers and a thumb.
So
the narrow width of the keyboard indicates the... I do not see the logic. The narrow width of the... Nothing unusual about that object, Captain.
Oh.
The computer is functional, but I detect no connection between the keyboard and the machine itself. Apparently, it was designed this way.
Okay.
This sample sequence is like a dream.
No, I don't think that's necessary.
Combining their DNA samples right now.
This sample sequence is like a dream.
Oh. No, that's just the same one. So, see that.
I don't know why, but I could not get a good sampling.
No, I don't think that's necessary.
Wow, this is almost identical to an 8000 sequencer. Cutting-edge Federation technology. Just input a sample, and the sequencer analyzes it so it can be spliced or altered on the genetic level with the replicator. Captain, we have to run a set of source samples through the sequence. I don't know why, but I could not get a good sampling.
I am reactivating Visner, Captain.
We can do nothing further for you, but the...
Okay. Let's go back outside, I guess.
An antenna. I wonder what it was meant for.
That's what we're here to find out, Mr. Johns.
The array appears to have deployed recently, which explains its lack of damage. The focal point of the dish is aligned approximately 35 degrees above the horizon. Captain, until power has been returned to these controls, there is nothing I can do. This appears to be similar to Federation technology, Captain. Its control principles are similar to the Medaille sensor dish on Vulcan. It has locked the array at a 35-degree angle. Without knowledge of the code control sequence, I cannot adjust it. I also detect that its power core is not functioning. It operates on geothermal energy, tapping into heat from the ground below.
It operates from geothermal energy.
Destroying the control mechanism is not in the best interests of this mission.
Yes, I know.
It is fascinating how desperate situations.
There we go. I'm like, I know that with the geothermal thing, it wants me to make some heat.
The energy level is insufficient, Captain. We cannot generate the energy level needed to provide geothermal energy with hand.
If it's thermal energy you want, Jim, I remember this planet that used a starship's phasers on a microwave setting to heat the surrounding rock to provide temporary power.
An interesting observation, Doctor. We could use the same technique here, but the beam would have to be extremely precise. If we targeted the wrong section, we could melt the rock and destroy the array.
So, sounds like we should
save, replay.
Mr. Scott requests to know if everything is all right, sir.
Tell Mr. Scott that everything is fine. Kirk out.
Mr. Scott requests...
Tell Mr.
I'm just having fun shooting things.
Standard volcanic rock. I would estimate. Standard volcanic.
Oh, here we go.
This appears to be the most accessible spot to heat the rocks below the ground and generate geothermal energy
I bet we
for
just
the
have
array.
to scan the area.
Kirk to Enterprise. Sulu, can you read me?
Sulu here, Captain. How can I help you?
The Enterprise should broadcast a low-level microwave beam at the coordinates I am sending.
We have them, Mr. Spock. Get ready. Stand away from the blast area.
Stand by, ready for weapons position.
Sulu.
Sending microwaves now.
Temperature near the power coupling is rising rapidly. I estimate a below-ground temperature of 345 degrees Kelvin is required to reactivate the array. It is at 320, 330, 335, 340, 345, 350.
Shut off the beam, Mr. Sulu.
Affirmative, Captain.
Nice.
The array is now drawing power. We were successful.
Alright, Spock.
Captain, the parameters of this sensor have been preset. I suggest we do not change them unnecessarily. The array dish appears to have escaped much of the...
Okay, but how do we...
Spock, see what you can do with this.
Captain, the parameters of this sensor have been preset. I suggest we do not change them unnecessarily.
So I guess we don't do anything with this. We just kind of leave it here. Doesn't seem like there's much more we can do here. Oh, there's another one.
Interesting controls, right, Spock?
Fascinating, Captain.
I'm surprised at the high degree of it.
Captain, these controls do not seem to be functioning properly.
How? Can you be a little more specific, Spock?
Captain, the controls indicate the device is aligned at an angle approximately 35 degrees above the horizon. There appears to be some sort of anomaly in the control program that has misaligned the controls, but my tricorder is unable to determine it. Without a method of determining the proper angle, I'm afraid I cannot realign the dish. I will need to adjust the control before the sensor...
Interesting control.
Captain, the array...
Scotty, I need a calculation from the main computer.
While I know the computers on the Enterprise aren't quite as good as her engines, I think she'll manage.
I am sending the problem.
Ugh, that was too easy, Mr. Spock. The angle is 32.5 degrees.
Thank you, Mr. Scotty.
So is there anything else you need, Captain?
Not now, Scotty. Kirk out.
I'm not Scotty. Shut up.
I am now attempting to realign the device to 32.5 degrees. It should now be correctly aligned.
Nice. Did it. And of course there's a third
one. This appears to be similar to Federation technology, Captain. Its control principles are similar to the Medaille sensor dish on Vulcan. It has locked the array at a 35-degree angle. Without knowledge of the code control sequence, I cannot adjust it. Captain, the parameters of this sensor have been preset. I suggest we do not change them unnecessarily. The array dish is quite sturdy and doubtless still functional.
So this one's fine.
The array appears to have deployed recently, which explains its lack of damage. This array appears focused on a point approximately 35 degrees above the horizon. This appears to be similar to Federation technology. I do not see the logic in that action. Nothing unusual.
Okay. There's a cable there. I was like, oh, maybe it's something. I don't know. So now we go all the way back. Don't know what these sensor dishes are doing, but yeah, something.
Nothing unusual about that.
Inside. Maybe in here now?
The narrow width of the keyboard. I do not see the logic in that action.
I don't understand any of this, Jim.
I don't either, boy.
Nothing unusual about that.
No effect. No effect. No effect.
I'm just a simple country doctor, not a... I'm just a simple...
Readings indicate that along with oxidation and dust, there is some organic...
Wow, this is almost identical.
This seems
pointless.
Captain, we have... I don't know why, but I could not get a good sampling.
Not get a good sampling. Oh, so I have to talk to him. For some reason, I just couldn't get a sample. You have to talk to him and be like, yo, do your job.
Ensign, let Dr. McCoy try that troublesome sequence.
I can do the job, sir, if I can have some peace and quiet here.
Mr. Johns, I think I'm getting a clear picture here of your difficulties. Do you realize that insubordination is an offense punishable by a court-martial? It looks to me that you're deliberately trying to mislead us. That's not a good career move. Calm down, Ensign. No one is criticizing you. I just need answers. Mr. John, calm down, Ensign. It looks to me that you're deliberately...
I might lose my career, but at least I'll be able to sleep at night.
Unable to sleep. McCoy's analysis seems to indicate these two life forms need each other. Both life forms agree. What about that would cause you to lose sleep?
That's so quiet.
Ensign, if you don't do what I tell you to do, I'll feed you to Visner. Ensign, Starfleet respects philosophical beliefs, as do I. But I don't tolerate officers who assume that their private beliefs allow them to disregard my orders without consulting me. Unable to sleep.
Captain, if I do what you want me to, the Omegans will die. Look at it. It's beautiful. It's light and goodness embodied in a single glorious entity. How could any man of conscience want to destroy it?
You're not being asked to destroy them, Ensign. You're being asked to let them reach their greatest potential. You're not being asked to make a moral decision.
Right. Literally.
You're being asked by both sides to help them.
But sir, I clearly saw beauty and ugliness, good and evil. Combining them would be the most immoral act in genetics since Consing.
Ensign, these Alphans and Omegans are single-celled creatures. Those projections are only constructs. You're a geneticist. Examine them yourself. Could their DNA produce creatures like Azra and Visner? Your beliefs are misapplied here. The Alphans and Omegans are single-celled creatures no more capable of consciousness than a tribble.
I like tribbles.
Even if the projection should be taken at face value, both sides have agreed to this. Examine it with your instruments, then make your own conclusions, can't you? Ensign, these are
single cells. You're right. I've been a real idiot. I suppose I should take a refresher course in Aesop.
It wouldn't hurt. Some of the wisest people in history have written for children.
Thank you, sir. I hope you'll give me a chance to correct my mistakes. Do you think we're really meant to combine the two races?
You've programmed the sequences. You can tell whether they're compatible.
Right? Sir, the sequencer indicates that they need to be combined for their continual survival. But how did you know?
I listened to Dr. McCoy.
I listened to people.
It seemed the logical conclusion, given the evidence.
Thank you, Captain.
Sequence this thing.
The alpha sample is sequenced, sir.
About time.
Captain, we have to run a set of source samples through the sequencer before...
Okay, I gotta make the quick one.
The two samples have joined together as easily as if they had once been a whole and had been separated before.
Any race that had this technology 50,000 years ago could possibly have been able to perform such a dissection and kept both halves alive.
Captain, with the samples sequenced together, I'm ready to use the replicator to produce a sample with the combined genetic data.
It's about time. Do it.
I am producing a new culture, Captain. Captain, the genetic sequence is still stored in the computer. If we need another sample, the replicator can generate it.
So it sounds like we can make a mistake with this?
You take a new sample from the replicator, which feels oddly chilly and lifeless in your hands.
I guess we'll call this new life form the Gammons.
Why not? Makes sense to me.
This doesn't look good.
Something's wrong here. The creatures are malformed and appear to be feeding upon each other.
This colony of creatures appears unviable.
Oh, I think it's this.
Readings indicate that along with oxidation...
The organic residue, maybe we need to use Johns on it?
No effect. No effect.
Maybe we should shoot it.
Captain, using the phaser at that setting may damage the equipment.
Aha!
A unique use of a phaser, but adequate for removing the deposits from the apparatus.
I think that is what caused the...
I am producing a new culture, Captain. Captain, after that last bad sample, I feared for the worst. However, this sample appears to be okay. Captain, the genetic sequence is still stored in the computer. If we...
Yeah, said that earlier.
I officially christen this life form, the Gammons.
Cool. Now I think you bring it in here.
Well, Jim, it doesn't look like it does anything.
Ah!
Oh, I guess I spoke too soon.
You damn right you did.
It took it in. It looks as if the colony is getting a foothold in there.
Life energy levels are spiking. They're building to a level sufficient for sending out a signal 100 times stronger than the one that brought us here, Captain.
The Gammon sample appears to be thriving in this environment.
What happens if you put the bad sample?
Thank you for your hard work. You have fulfilled the design for which we were created. I am authorized to tell you the true nature of this planet and those who brought you here. All you need do is ask.
If you put the bad sample in there, like it might be a bad ending in this mission, I can't remember. Some missions I think really only have one ending that you can get, but I think some missions have bad endings.
Thank you, Captain, for your aid in constituting my people and in the unexpected necessary realignment of our communications array. You have performed admirably. Of the 16 stations reporting at this point, there have been 50% fatalities, 30% other failures, and only 20% successes. One group got points for style.
Points for style? Is this some sort of game? Not another alien race with a superiority complex. Who are you this time? Your appreciation is welcome, but many questions remain unanswered. Who are you? Points for style? Is this some sort of game?
A game? A contest? Perhaps a quest is the best description for what is transpiring. Mr. Johns might even refer to it as a religious vocation.
A contest suggests there is a prize. A religious vocation? That carries with it a compulsion that allows no compromise. What if we do not want to participate in your contest? We will not kill to entertain you. We want nothing to do with your quest. A religious vocation.
Not participate. Given that yours is a quest for knowledge, to explore new worlds and new civilizations, my creators cannot imagine that you would not want to complete the quest. Granted, theirs is not a new civilization. Still, you will want to meet the Brassica, I think.
I'm certain that Skinner had the same opinion about his pigeons.
Perhaps you have had experiences with other entities that have brought suffering to you, Doctor. I can assure you that our goals are nobler than that. In the end, you will find that the rewards will justify your effort. If you reach the end, of course.
I'm not clear on who the Brassica are.
Captain, from this site, I can deduce various things about the Brassica. They are taller and more slender than we are. They are possessed of 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand. I suppose bilateral symmetry, and I know they possess greater visual acuity than humans. They visited this place well before humans had left the Cro-Magnon stage of development. And I note they have avoided detection by us, and presumably every other race in the universe, before they decided to send out signals to bring us to their bases.
Thank you, Mr. Spock.
And more you shall know as you continue on the quest. I wish you luck.
Kirk to Enterprise. Scotty, 4 to beam up.
Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end.
In this case, Bones, a new beginning. We were the midwives for the rebirth of a life form. 2 halves that have been made whole again. That's the way it was meant to be.
Let us hope that this is the end of Ensign John's prejudices.
We can all learn to stop judging people by appearances. Ensign Johns might have done well to remember the biblical representation of Lucifer, appearing in the guise of an angel of light.
You can never trust anyone. And people who look like pointy-eared hobgoblins are definitely at the bottom of the list.
Wow. It appears that Dr. McCoy did not learn the lesson of this mission either. Unfortunate, but not unexpected.
Fortunately, the Alphans and the Omegans learned philosophy and personal belief are not as easily divorced from logic as some would believe. We humans attain our greatest fulfillment when both of them are united.
Really, Captain?
Really? But I've had enough philosophy for one day. I'd rather worry about these Brassica and their cosmic quest.
Well, with me aboard, we're sure to get points for style.
many questions remain unanswered.
Yeah, thanks. Not
And
quite
there's only
here.
one way to answer them.
Still,
Captain, message from Starfleet.
Still
Bring
the
it up,
night of the
Lieutenant.
30th.
I reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. Well done, Kirk. Keep up the good work. I must say, however, your performance is not what we've come to expect from James T. Kirk.
Less than ideal
I guess we all have our off days, Captain. Kane out.
Ahead, Mr. Sulu. Warp factor 5.
Leaving orbit. Increasing to warp factor 5.
Next mission.
Spock, where do you think we should start looking for this? Brassica?
Logic suggests that they will present us with opportunities to come to them.
True.
Captain, a message from Starfleet.
On screen.
Captain, the USS Regulus has been forced to cancel its survey mission to the Antares Rift.
No,
We've decided to redirect the Enterprise to that mission. The USS Hood will take over for your current assignment.
Of course, the Antares Rift has a rather dangerous reputation.
Nothing the Enterprise can't handle. But be careful. Starfleet out.
Alright, let's consult our star map. Aries Rift. Aha, yeah, that one's pretty good. And actually, it kind of looks like a rift.
Raising shields. Lowering shields, Captain.
Arming weapons.
Yeah, it's this thing.
Captain's log, stardate 6257.6. We have entered the Antares Rift and found spatial disruptions in the rift that make using warp engines extremely dangerous. Repairs are almost complete on the minor damage we suffered upon entry into the rift. We are continuing our survey using impulse engines.
My poor babies. Warp engines were meant to be used, Captain.
Communications are back online, Captain.
Deflectors at 93% power and increasing.
Captain, undoubtedly that phenomenon would explain many of the strange disappearances in this sector. Still, with our warp engines deactivated, our computers indicate we will be safe.
But yeah, look forward to the new year. My partners, we work together. Eat a lot of good food.
Communications are out again, Captain. Is anyone hurt?
If he was human, Mr. Spock's pride might be...
Captain, sensors failed to indicate anything unusual prior to the explosion. I would speculate that it was caused by an extremely unusual rift in the space-time continuum, a place where radically different physical laws apply.
And since it was different space-time, our sensors weren't programmed to detect it.
And it could happen again at any time without warning.
Save new replace.
Captain, I believe I may be able to adjust the sensors to detect these spatial rifts and pilot the Enterprise to avoid them. However, the sensors are too heavily damaged here. I will need to get to auxiliary control as soon as possible if I am to reroute the necessary systems.
Mr. Spock, the bulkheads were breached just outside of the bridge. No one's going to be able to leave the bridge for at least an hour unless they're transported out.
Scotty, what's our status?
Very bad, Captain. Whatever hit the Enterprise hit us right in our own neighborhood. The hull is breached 6 meters from the bridge. Beyond that, the instruments are useless. I can't read or send anything through these controls. We'll need a starbase to make this bridge functional again.
Scotty, how about auxiliary control?
Captain, I cannot determine the status of anything beyond the place where the rupture occurred. The rest of the ship could be dead as far as we know.
Ideas, Mr. Walker?
I'm a security guard, sir, not an idea man. Still, if we could send out probes to detect these rifts, we might get a better idea on whether they're moving or not, and whether we should stop and make repairs, or keep moving.
Status, Mr. Sulu.
Helmet's not responding, Captain. The controls are completely dead.
You're useless.
Status, Mr. Chekhov.
Captain, navigation is not responding. The circuits are as lifeless as a Stalinist.
Any ideas, Lieutenant?
I was barely able to reroute the necessary connections last time, Captain. Communications are completely useless now.
We may be able to enter codes into the library computer and instruct others to send messages to us.
I do not see the logic in that action. I do not see the logic in...
It's stuck. We're not getting out of here that way. Captain's log, supplemental. Things are a complete...
Why did everybody get up and move?
It's stuck. We're not getting out.
I do not see the logic.
Captain.
Captain, the library computer is online. Apparently, its circuits were shielded from the explosion. Captain, I have managed to program a message into the library computer. The first time a person accesses the computer, they will read our distress signal. Hopefully, they can code a reply into the computer, which we can access.
Okay, do it.
Captain, the transporters are operational. I request permission to be transported, so I can begin the adjustments to sensors as soon as possible.
Go ahead, Spock. No, Spock, I'll go ahead, Spock. No, Spock, I'll go first.
This seems like an interesting choice. This was in Spock there. I feel like Kirk doesn't really know what he's doing.
Go ahead, Spock. Spock!
I can take care of that, Captain.
Were you sacrificing everyone?
I'm patching your log into the computer. You should have voice messages.
Captain, we've managed to jury-rig an evacuation tube through the bridge turbo lift. We should be able to keep it stable long enough for you to be evacuated.
I can take care of that, Captain. I'm patching your log into the computer.
Captain, we've managed to jury-rig an evacuation tube through the bridge turbo lift. We should be...
Through the bridge turbo lift. Okay, so now we... There we go. Don't have Spock, though.
Captain's log. After equipping ourselves with tricorders and phasers, we are now searching for a way to find Spock and return him to us. I've determined that the best place to start...
Captain, it's a very good thing we took the warp engines offline.
How bad is it, Scotty?
That explosion was 42% stronger than the one that struck near the bridge. Our left warp nacelle is crippled, Captain.
I hope it's not a trend. Keep me posted, Mr. Scott. Kirk out. Kirk to Scott. Come in. Kirk to Uhura. Kirk to sick bay. Computer. Kirk to Scott.
Captain, I got bad news for you. This rift is affecting the hull of the ship. Our hull integrity is dropping fast.
How bad is it, Scotty?
It's at 92% and dropping rapidly. According to our system specs, if it drops below 63%...
Put as much powers as you can to the shields. Use them to support our hull integrity. Divert as much power as you can to the sensors. Evacuate all people from the outer decks. Divert power from life support on those decks.
Captain, that'll only add about 2% to the shield.
Do it, Mr. Scott.
Aye, Captain.
Well, I guess I selected the wrong. That's fine. You get auxiliary control.
Our highest priority is control of the sensors. We must find Spock.
I'll handle it, Captain. Remember, I was a physicist when I first joined the Enterprise.
Ah! Captain, look!
That's odd. All systems look normal. The aliens haven't touched navigation. What's going on? That's odd. All systems look normal. The aliens haven't touched the helm.
Captain, the aliens have not touched the helm. All systems look like they'll respond normally.
Well then...
Nothing to report, Captain.
Do it?
I never thought my duties aboard the Enterprise would include bouncing aliens.
Guess we have a security officer, but...
Captain, what happened?
It appears our alien friend likes its privacy.
We'll be able to
Well, Jim, I leave you alone for 5 minutes and look at the mess you've made. Jim, what is going on out there?
Spock is gone, Bones. He was transporting off the bridge, and then he vanished, and then this alien appeared in auxiliary control.
An alien kidnapped Spock? Why?
I don't know, Bones.
Jim, I'll need a medical scan of the alien if I'm to do anything.
Okay. Back to auxiliary.
The Cossacks have locked the door, Captain.
This panel doesn't seem to be working.
The alien has thought of everything.
We could bring down a phaser welder and force it open.
We don't have the time, Mr. Suna.
Captain, where would you like to be transported?
Send us to sickbay, Mr. Kyle. Send us to engineering, Mr. Kyle. Send us to auxiliary control, Mr. Kyle. We'll transport later, Mr. Kyle. Send us to auxiliary control, Mr. Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Could be wrong.
Energize.
Captain, I'm getting a sensor reading on the alien. I'm sure Dr. McCoy will find this data interesting.
Alright, back to sick bay. Just talk to McCoy. Oh,
Not again.
Jim, we've got to get out of here.
We need to get Spock back.
I should have known the Spock would be good for something someday. Now the day has come and he isn't here.
Here's the sensor scan, Bones.
Jim, this says our invaders are Vurians.
Vurians? But they're extinct. They died out at the time that Cochrane invented the warp drive. They were slaughtered in the Three Systems War.
Jim, I know my history, but I also know my anatomy. The alien in auxiliary control is a Vurian. There's only one strange thing.
What's that?
This creature isn't capable of doing some of the things that you described. It's an ordinary Vurian. No special organs, no unusual brain patterns, nothing that traditionally suggests superhuman feats.
Can you neutralize it, Bones?
Actually, it's a female. And yes, I know of something that can incapacitate it without harming it. A gas mixture. You'll have to pump large quantities into auxiliary control for it to be effective, but it should work almost immediately.
good. Do that.
Here's the gas, Jim. Be careful with it. There hasn't been a Vurian in 150 years.
I think we can go back to auxiliary control. No, teleport.
The tricorder says the deck layout screen is correct.
Deck layout screen. The deck integrity monitor says that everything is safe.
It could be a deception, Captain.
This panel doesn't seem to be working.
The alien has thought of everything.
We could bring down a phaser welder and force it open.
We don't have the time, Mr. Suna.
Okay, so I don't think I can do the gas from here.
has been an explosion near the shuttle bay. I'm fine. There has been no significant damage.
Any luck communicating with Starfleet Command?
I have made contact with the light cruiser USS Jefferson, sir. It will reach the edge of Antares Rift in 16 hours. The rift is playing havoc with communications.
Thank you, Lieutenant Kirkout.
Is it too late to put in a request for an early retirement?
Scotty, if we hit any more of these random detonations, it'll be mandatory retirement for all of us.
Actually, Captain, I was hoping for a better pension. I do not know what you've got there, but I've smelled Klingon nerve gas with a better bouquet. Laddie, do you know what you're doing? That's delicate equipment. Captain, we won't last 15 seconds in this dust storm without our deflector grid. If it's... Captain, I would...
I'm trying to remember how... Gas in there. Something in here is...
Life support control systems. This monitors and controls the ship's life support.
Not in there, Captain. Put the gas in the life support pump, then use the controls.
Oh, in the pump? Where's the pump?
Captain, I don't think that gas was meant to be used on the impulse engines.
Captain, I may only be chief engineer, but I do not see what benefits that an alien nerve gas can have on our impulse controls. Captain, let's not be fooling up. Captain, not in there. Not in there. Not in there. Not in there.
Aha, I found it. Oh, jeez.
I wish Dr. McCoy had given me the specs on that gas injection system. It looks like a rather clumsy fit.
I'll do it, Scotty.
You'd think that Dr. McCoy would have some respect for engineering.
You'd think.
Let's see how our alien friend likes Dr. McCoy's medicine.
Probably as much as we do, Hikaru.
Mr. Kyle, can you transport me to auxiliary control?
Aye, sir. But I have to remind you how dangerous intership transporting can be. We've really been pushing our luck today.
I'm aware of that, Mr. Kyle, but we have to take the risk.
Okay, it's gonna take us right. Good, I don't have to go all the way back to the transport.
Look, something's happening.
Something's happening. Okay.
These readings look normal to me. This looks like a normal course, right, Pavel?
Normal. It's an excellent course. The same one I entered before the alien came on board the ship.
Everything seems to be working. Library computer, external...
Mr. Sulu, see if you can find where the Vurian went. Maybe that will lead us to Spock.
I was about to say, do something.
Captain, I'm detecting the Vurian. She seems to have vanished through a rift in space. I have the coordinates of her last known location.
Let's go there.
These readings look normal.
No.
Everything seems... Captain.
Oh, I think now we go to the transporter?
Mr. Kyle, you have the coordinates where the alien teleported?
Captain, you're asking me to transport you into another dimension. I may not be able to lock onto you there.
I'm aware of the risk, Mr. Kyle. You have your orders.
Aye, sir.
Energize. Captain's personal log. I have transported to many strange places in my day, but beaming into an alien dimension is something entirely unique. Only the extreme risk to my ship and my friend Spock would cause me to take such a drastic risk.
This doesn't look like a nice place to visit.
There's the Vurian. I don't see Spock.
He's got to be around here somewhere.
Greetings, Lord Kirk. I am Iminata. I regret the discomfort that I put you through on your ship. I wish only to preserve my joy by serving the Savant.
Are you willing to help me, Eminata? Where's Spock? How did you come to be here? What were you doing on my ship? Are you willing to help? Where's Spock?
The Lord Spock is not far. His mind dances in the bliss of this place. He would welcome you. It is not a long or difficult search to find him. The Savant is now summoned, Lord Kirk. He awaits. Not many footsteps from here. By the fountainhead. Seek him.
Are you willing to help me, Eminata? How did you come to be here? What were you doing on my ship? Are you willing? How did you come to be here?
I was a lone soldier, fleeing the massacres that followed the Three Systems War. I was heavily outnumbered. In desperation, I attempted to use my son's gravity well to propel my ship into a high warp velocity, so I could escape the pursuit.
I remember reading about that war in my history class at the Academy.
I was warped into the Antares sector. I traveled through a dimensional rift into this place. The Savant sustained me and gave me joy where there was once only despair. I have been here ever since. The Savant awaits. I am unimportant compared to him. Go to him at once.
I will. You are the last of your race. That makes you very important. Can you talk about the Savant? Give us a chance to know what to expect. I will. You are the last of your race. That makes you very important.
Physical forms are unimportant. A species is only a similarity of material form, constructed from genetic instructions. Only emotions matter.
Are you willing to help me, Eminata? What were you doing on my ship?
The Savant empowered me to remove any psionically adept being from your ship, and to prevent you from following him. It was not our intention to do you harm. The Savant awaits. I am unimportant.
I will. You are the last. Can you talk about the Savant?
Nothing I can say will truly prepare you for what awaits.
Are you willing to help me, Eminata?
Possibly. I am aware of your ship's distress. I can bring it to the attention of the Savant. It may help.
Actually, I was thinking more about freeing Spock. What is the Savant? I would appreciate the Savant being informed. Actually, I was thinking more about freeing Spock.
I do not know how I can help you, Captain.
Cool. Okay. Should we pick up these little colored balls?
Why are you reaching for your phaser, Mr. Sulu?
Captain.
Walker, I saw you sneaking up on me.
Sir.
You're all against me. You've gotten rid of Spock, now me. Who's next? Scotty, Uhura? Or are they part of this too?
Captain, snap out of it.
Something is definitely wrong. Such intense emotions. What are we doing here? Why did we come here?
Captain?
There's no way back. We'll never find Spock. We're trapped here forever, and it's all my fault. I knew the Antares Rift was dangerous. I should never have let the ship go in there.
Captain?
What? Let's find Spock.
Oh, I want to pick up all these balls. Kirk's having an emotional roller coaster right now.
I heard that, Mr. Sulu.
I didn't say anything.
You've always been saying things behind my back. You've always said I don't have enough discipline, that I don't respect my crew. You're insubordinate, Mr. Sulu.
Get hold of yourself, Captain.
What on earth was I saying? I'm sorry, Mr. Sulu, that was not...
Captain, I think we better get out of here as soon as possible.
No, I want to pick up...
No effect.
Yes, there should be an effect. It's right there.
This place reminds me of Deneva. I lost my brother there. He was a few years younger than I was, and there were times when he annoyed me.
Captain?
And now he's gone. Gone. I'll never see him again, never tell him... To tell him...
Captain, snap out of it.
This place must be getting to me.
It's definitely not the balls we're picking up. Couldn't be.
Don't worry, Mr. Walker, I'll protect you.
Sir?
Sulu, Checo. You know, I may never have told you this before, but I care for you all more than I can tell. Sulu, with your dedication, your unwavering sense of responsibility...
Captain, are you talking about me?
Checo, I've always been impressed by your enthusiasm. All those wonderful Russian jokes, your humanity.
Captain?
And you, Mr. Walker, with your rugged determination, I'll bet you had more girlfriends than anyone in the history of the Academy.
Actually, sir, I'm... celibate.
What? What was I just saying?
Okay.
I'll get them, Captain.
Oh no! He's gonna die!
Wait, we need something to handle them with. Mr. Walker, handling single stones produced intense emotions. A cache of these stones.
You're right, sir.
Cool. Okay. Skin.
That's interesting. These stones check out as organic matter.
If that's the case, it's just a medical report. I don't know.
Fascinating. This stone is giving off a pattern similar to the brainwave pattern of Vulcans and other psionic creatures.
Okay, that was the blue one.
Fascinating. This stone is giving off a pattern.
Oh, they all just like...
Fascinating.
Okay. Bag or something for these stones, I think. Aha!
I am the Savant. I wish you and all entities nothing but joy.
Who are you? Why do you ensnare others against their will? Release Spock at once and allow us to return to our ship. Who are you?
Once, eons ago, I was akin to you. A creature of flesh and pain. But I released myself from these bonds and became an entity of pure emotion. And I came to this place to find a shelter from the cares of the universe. Captain, you misunderstand me. It is not my will to bring harm to any creature. I have taken two creatures that are without the most important thing in existence, joy, and given it to them in infinite variety and abundance. The Vurian was filled with despair at the death of her race. She was overwhelmed by sorrow and grief. I have healed her of these afflictions forever. As for the Vulcan, he has been conditioned to deny his emotions. I am bringing him in contact with a part of himself that will enhance his life. It is a gift of love.
You have no right to inflict emotions on any being, regardless of how positive you may think them to be, without their consent. Get a life. You can't just sit around feeling happy for eternity. What does that accomplish? Love? Spock doesn't want your gift. He doesn't need your gift. Release him and let us return to our ship. You have no right to...
I give them an eternity of joy. Is that not every creature's desire? How can granting a subliminal desire be beyond my rights?
That is the most arrogant piece of presumption I have ever heard. An eternity of joy. And I suppose you derive no benefits from the people you hold prisoner? Do you honestly believe that because what you do may benefit them, that the ends justify the means? That is the most arrogant...
Captain, when you've lived for millions of years like I have, you begin to view existence in a different way. You may call it arrogance. I call it reality. I will send you back to your own ship and give you safe passage through the Antares Rift if you wish.
Save new, replace previous.
Welcome.
Not without Spock. Savant, isn't there anything I can do to make you see reason? Release Spock, or we will be forced to destroy you. Not without Spock.
Captain, why do you begrudge your comrade's newfound happiness?
Because it was not his doing, nor his choice. Because he's being used by you and held against his will. He has duties and obligations, and you're keeping him from them. Because it was not his doing, nor his choice.
There are many things in nature that are not desired, but bring good fortune. Be content with your comrade's serendipity, and ask for your safe return to your vessel. Welcome.
Not without Savant. Isn't release Spock, not with Savant.
Captain, I do see reason. My intellect is many orders of magnitude beyond yours. You should trust my judgment.
I trust Spock's judgment, and you're imprisoning his free will.
Free will is an arrogant deception, Captain. Welcome.
Not without Spock. Savant, release, not Savant.
Captain.
I trust Spock's judgment. Savant, creatures like ourselves need to be free to make mistakes and to learn from them. Only then can our intellects... Really? I see you have great power and great splendor. I trust Spock's... Really?
I have taken sorrow and turned it into bliss. I have taken that which denied feelings and have shown him his true nature. Is that not wisdom?
Okay. So getting this bag. Put these stones.
I'll get them, Captain.
And I think I remember something was throwing the stones into...
I've put them in the pouch we found. Boy, am I getting an odd feeling from these stones.
You have met the Savant. Now you realize the true power of this place.
Are you willing to help me, Eminata?
Through the Savant, I know your desires. Why should I help release the poor Vulcan into a life of misery?
Because I need him to save the lives of over 400 people on the ship. Because Spock does not want artificial joy. He does not want this lie. Because I need him to... Because Spock...
Very well, Captain. Yes. I will help you.
And what are you gonna do?
You have met the Savant.
You agreed to help?
You have already met the Savant, and he remains unmoved. I am taking the emotions in your mind and broadcasting them to him. Your concern for your ship, your love for your comrade. He regrets your feelings, but his purpose is unchanged.
Save through Playthru.
This object has no effect. You disturb my rest. Fortunately, I am not alone in bliss. What is this? What am I feeling? What have you done?
What's the matter, Savant? Not feeling those good vibrations? Life isn't all happiness and joy. It's time you experienced a reality check. Is that sadness you're feeling, Savant? It couldn't be that those inferior humans have outwitted your great wisdom, could it? What's the matter, Savant? Not feeling those good vibrations? Life isn't all happiness and joy. What's the matter, Savant? Not feeling...
Please, have mercy. I would rather die than experience such sorrow.
If you will listen to reason, I will release you. Free Spock and return us to our ship. You really are a crybaby. Go ahead and bawl your head off. If you will listen to reason, free Spock and return us to our ship. If you will
I do not wish to reward violence, Captain.
Taking Spock against his will is an act of violence, too, Savant. No entity, no matter how wise, can impose eternity on another creature. Even the most authoritarian gods of myth never strip their subjects of their free will.
I remain unconvinced, Captain, but I am too aggrieved to argue. You and your scientist will be returned to your craft.
Did it.
Live long and prosper, James Kirk. Live well in your universe, and I shall try to live well in mine.
Captain's log, we are out of the Antares Rift and are on our way to Starbase 8, where the Enterprise has extensive repairs scheduled. All crew members, including First Officer Spock, are safely aboard.
So, Spock, you mean you had an eternity of pure enjoyment and you gave it up?
Affirmative, Doctor.
That has to be the most illogical thing I've ever heard. Humans spend their entire lifetime dreaming of an eternity of pleasure.
As do animals in the field. Perhaps humans are meant to be better than that. Perhaps we should dream of greatness and not simple gratification.
Greatness is a term subject to individual interpretation, Captain. The savant viewed the pursuit of greatness as useless, because all great deeds and accomplishments are destined to be forgotten in cosmic terms.
A cosmic being thinks in cosmic terms, but somehow that philosophy overlooks a lot of life's little pleasures. There's just one thing that bothers me about the whole thing.
Really, Doctor?
Spock finally got to enjoy himself, and I wasn't there to see it. Now that's something worth remembering.
Message from Starfleet Command.
On screen.
I reviewed your report from your recent assignment, Captain, and have a few comments. The top brass at Starfleet are impressed with the results of your recent performance. Outstanding work, Jim. Keep up the good work. Kane out.
Close.
How long until we reach Nova Atar, Ensign?
About 23 hours, Captain.
22 hours, 53 minutes, and 17 seconds, to be precise.
Spock, there's no need to be precise. We're going on shore leave. Rest, relaxation, no calls from Starfleet.
Captain, we have a message coming in from Admiral Richards at Starfleet.
On screen, Lieutenant.
Hello, Jim. I know you're going on shore leave, but...
What is it, Chris?
Since you're going there anyway, and it's only a small favor...
Favor?
I don't want to inconvenience you, but...
Fine, you have it. What would you like me to do?
We recently discovered that one of the exhibits in the Smithsonian Annex at Nova Atar is of great historical significance to the Soransi, an influential family from planet Lakian. The museum is going to have a small ceremony to return the item. The Federation planned to send a representative, but, well, she couldn't make it. Since you'll be in the neighborhood, well, no dress uniforms. All you have to do is smile and shake hands.
Smile, shake hands. It would be my pleasure, Admiral. My chief engineer had already promised to show me around. We'll be there.
Thanks, Jim. I owe you one. Check your data files for details. Oh, one more thing, Jim. Due to the security concerns, you won't be allowed to bring any electronic equipment with you.
I think there's
Richards out.
Now, I was saying...
Captain, do we really have to stand around and listen to speeches from a bunch of politicians?
It won't be all bad, Scotty. The curator's a major cognac producer, and he asked us to show up early to thank us for our support.
Captain, it'd be rude to keep a man like the curator waiting, what with an important diplomatic function to prepare for.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Scotty. Okay, that's that one. Yeah.
We've arrived at Nova Atar, Captain.
Bring us into standard orbit, Mr. Sewell.
Aye, Captain.
Oh, I didn't have to put us into orbit. Sick.
Curator Brezhnev bids you to beam down at your pleasure.
We are at Nova Atar.
That's not very helpful spot. Alright.
Save new, replace previous game.
Alright, gonna take a quick break. Just gonna use the restroom and stuff. I will be back soon. MGS1 for the PC. Oh, why does it say I've only been live for 6 minutes? Or, I don't know, I guess I could do normal or easy difficulty. That would be learning something new. Yeah. Yeah, so I was going to do, like I said, I was going to do MGS1 on the PC, but let's do like normal or easy playthrough. Let's just go ahead and do normal, because I think that's what the thing with MGS2 is like. As far as I know, that like easy is really like, I think the best way to learn is just to learn how to do it as normal, or apply the exact same stuff on easy. It's just gonna be like a little easier. Restarting the console.